everybody, welcome back to IP Farms. Well, it's another beautiful day here in North Carolina. It's hot, about 92, the humidity's through the roof. I'm sweating like a pig already, but that's another story. Thought I'd bring you along today for a little bit of something different. We're gonna get the grain drill that I got from Cousin Scott a couple of months ago that we did some trading on. I'm gonna try to get it back together here and around in front of the shop and see if we can tinker with it and see what all's going on, if it's anything major sticking out or whatever. Cause fingers crossed, we might have the opportunity or the chance, or I'll say the gamble of putting some kind of seed in the ground here to help out in the future. So a little bit of something different here. We've done a lot of miscellaneous. I know the repair videos are there, but if you haven't checked out some past videos where I picked this up from Cousin Scott and got to meet him and Mr. Soybean Farmer, I've got one video on my channel, but if you'll go over to Scott's Small Farming and Things, he's got the best video where we picked this up. I drove down to their place here in North Carolina and picked this drill up and took him to straw choppers for the gleaners. So if you haven't checked that out, go over and check that out, and it'll explain a little bit more about what's going on. Cousin Scott really did me a good deed here on this one. So we're gonna get the hitch back on it and try to get it around in front of the shop if I can. Like I said, go over it a little bit, and we'll explain more as time goes along. Stay tuned. Okay, we're gonna attempt this by ourselves. This is about a two-man job, but I got the front of the drill picked up with the Oliver. And I'm gonna attempt to get some of these bolts started and support this before I drop it on myself. So if I do, everybody just laugh and get a good joke out of it. We had to pull the tongue off of it to get it home because it was too wide for the trailer. Lord have mercy. You guys ought to get a kick out of this, because I'll probably have to stop 5 times and wipe the sweat out of my eyes. But we're gonna give it a shot. Like I said, a lot of things I do around here I really need 2 people with, but just don't have the opportunity all the time to have 2 people, so we make do with what we got. Okay, struggles are real as usual. Had to go get more bolts. We got them all in. Give them a snug up now. The hitch back on. All right, one hitch installed. Let's go get the air compressor. Okay, well, I'm on my second trip with the air compressor. This is why I talk about the service truck so much. I've got an air tank, a compressor, and everything. I just need to get a little Predator motor from Harbor Freight and make myself a gas air compressor. But I think what I've decided to do, I know I ramble on about projects all the time, but being as how I'm down to no truck, I think I'm gonna fix my grandpa's truck and just leave the regular bed on it for right now. That way I can pull my gooseneck. And if it doesn't get gone, I ironically found a service body trailer here within about 8 miles of the farm. I think I can talk them down to a reasonable amount, and I may just get the service body trailer for right now. and that way I'm not just limited to the truck. You know, I can hook it to any of the tractors if it's a little wet or, you know, whatever, more mobile. When I'm not using it, I can just back it under the shed, or, well, not under a shed right now, but anyway, and that way I can put my air compressor and tank and everything else in it, because hot as it is making these trips out here behind the barn, not getting any cooler. So all right, tires are aired up. Let me get it hooked up and I'll bring you back and we get it around in front of the shop. Okay, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but the teeth there, the engagement teeth, look good. Both, I don't know if it's bearings or what, are tight on this side. Of course, you know, you got your adjusting rod here that comes up to the square bar, and then when you drop it down, that kicks that down and lets those engage. Let's go over here to this side and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, this side is wore really bad. Can't see it right now, but the teeth in here are wore pretty good, and something has come apart here. I don't know if this is a bearing or what, but all this is loose, and this mechanism right here that engages and disengages, there it is, disengaged, and then when you drop it down, you know, it loosens that over and lets the teeth engage. So it looks like whatever that is, a bearing or whatever, is bad, and it hasn't been fully engaging, and probably when it gets in some tough ground or something, that's when it'll skip those engagement teeth there. So let me see what's going on. I'll bring you back in just a minute. Okay, I'll show you what I came up with here. Let me got my hands cleaned up. This is the mechanism that engages when you let it down to start spinning the drill, and I'm sure the camera is not picking that up, but that one is wore really bad. Doesn't have any flat sides to it. Let's see, the other piece here, you know, they're supposed to engage like that, and you can see the wear in there, hopefully in the camera. So I think there's no bearing or anything here. This just slides on, hexagon shaft on that. The only bearing in it, I've never messed with these, all you farmer guys I'm sure have, but this is the bearing, I guess, for the main shaft there, and it had quite a lot of slop in it, so I don't know if that going bad, the slop in it, you know, let that thing move up and down and not ride right. So I don't even know if you can get parts for these things. I do have a book on order, but I'm gonna wait and see what the book says. I've got the serial number off of it, and I'm going to see if there's any parts available out there, and if so, I'm gonna go ahead and get 2 of these bearings and replace the other side. You can kind of see there maybe in the camera, it's like the bottom's wore quite a bit compared to the top. So I think that extra slop in it was causing that spring, when it was putting pressure on it not to be engaging exactly right, and it's wore that. So I don't think the bearing's that big of a deal, but this piece right here very well could be. I don't know if that's gonna have to be something off another drill, or if that's still available or what. I may end up having to get that made, but I think that's the problem in the skipping. The other side does look good. I'll probably go ahead and replace the bearing, but all the teeth are got real straight edges. You can see that one maybe in the camera, how angled it is. It just hasn't been engaging because it was packed full of grease down here, so they were just barely catching, so it wasn't going to take anything for it to skip. So okay, that's what we found so far. Okay everybody, we're going to wrap this one up. We'll call this part 1 of the John Deere 8200 grain drill repair. Cousin Scott told me when we done the trading that it skipped every once in a while. I told him that wasn't a problem. That's part of my gig here, is getting older farm equipment cheap, trading out whatever, fixing it. Figured out what the problem is. Pretty simple there. If the parts are available, it'll be a no-brainer depending on how quick I can get them. If not, if I have to get that piece made, I do have a very good machinist buddy that cut my bushings for the Ford, and he can do it, but I don't think the timing would be for this year. But if we have to go that route, it'll just be ready for next year, and all I gotta do is put a couple of tubes in the tires, and it'll be ready to go for next year. So we're gonna go after it. If any of you guys know anything about the 8200 John Deeres, as far as if Deere still carries parts for them, or if there's aftermarket suppliers or anything, like I said, I've got a book on the way, but it may already be here by the time you see this, may not. But pretty simple there. I think that's the only thing wrong. That bearing, bushing, whatever you want to call it, is wore bad and had some play in the in that shaft, and when those things would go together and engage and that spring was holding it, that bushing was letting this side ride like that, and so it wasn't fully engaging the teeth like it was supposed to. The other side does have a little bit of play in it. The teeth are perfect on it, so if I can find these bushings or bearings or whatever, I'll go ahead and replace both of them, and that should be good on that. It has 2 plastic bushings, it looks like, out on the end. I might see if those are available, but anyway, so we'll see what we can come up with. So I might put this one on hold for a little while. I'll figure out something about parts. Might be some videos in between, but keep your fingers crossed, because if we can get the parts and get them pretty quick, then we might be putting some seed in the ground. I'll divulge that at a later time. But anyway, just want to say thank you everybody for watching. Please consider subscribing if you hadn't already. Hit the thumbs up button if you like what you see. Thumbs down, I understand it's not for everybody. Share the videos, get them out there. Might be somebody else interested in some of this I'm doing here, taking this old farm equipment, putting it back to use. But like I said in the beginning, go over and check out Scott's Small Farming Things for channel. We're met up with YouTubers. I think that's somewhere along the video name, description rather. He got more footage than I did that day when I picked this up, so give you a little bit more insight on it to any new subscribers that didn't get to watch that. And I do have a short video on it on my channel, so we'll see what happens and how the parts are available. Until next time, thank you.